Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. We're currently tied 1 apiece. We're starting the upper right-hand corner as the yellow Protoss. Bottom right-hand corner we have Earob starting as the magenta Protoss. For whatever reason, my brain did not want to remember Litmus, but now my brain is like completely jogged. Just took a second. This is the map from the previous ASL season where they split. So they gave you 3,000 gas across 2 geysers rather than a single geyser with 5,000 in your main. You've got the, it's kind of reminds me of Dark Origin a little bit. It's like somewhere between Dark Origin and Butter is what it is. You have the Stasis Cell Prison where you can kind of go for the loop around to get some damage done there. 4,000 Vespene Geyser there. And then you have another expansion that's kind of at your, it's kind of one of those things where I do like the maps here where it's like if you expand at a distance, it's like you're expanding away from your enemy. And but there's risk, right? There's a risk reward that's associated. I will say on these maps, because there's a lot of clutter along this alleyway tend to be the big clutter points. And so there's a lot of fights that rarely will you see fights this direction. It doesn't make a lot of sense to go all the way around here. It makes sense to take the short route all the way through. And so yeah, you have ramps here, but a lot of the fighting happens in these corridors, which makes Reavers with their splash damage and High Templar eventually, if you get there, I suppose, very, very effective. So I think 2-gate Reaver pretty solid. Reaver Scarab damage upgrade pretty solid. Also you got extra gas to maybe make something happen. Very fast scout from Worst, by the way. Wonder who's loser's pick on this map, and Earob opted to go for the more creative map. By the way, again, kind of a more defensive gateway interior to the base, a little bit more of a forward gateway here from Worst. Otherwise, identical build orders. Worst could do something hilarious and go for the gas steal. That would also be very cute. Gonna go ahead and dive towards the main. Does get the Manor Pylon off. Wow, I was actually kind of happy I discussed it. Double Manor Pylon. Is he gonna go for offensive? I don't think so. He's got the gateway up here already. So I don't think he's gonna go for anything offensive. And he does manage to trap, he traps a probe and otherwise creates, so a single probe I don't think is worth it, but does block off some of the better mining patches. Critically, this one is a little bit disrupted. Zealot is queued up otherwise. We don't have 2-gate play. Earob just kind of parking that probe in the main in the midst of this, and it is Worst just gonna skip, I'll be interested, so yeah, he's gonna skip that Zealot, cute. He has the resources, but is actually just not going to build this initial Zealot, recognizing that, I wonder if this is part of like a long-term strategic play. Another pylon drop, so 3 minor pylons now. Is he gonna go additional? Okay, here's the thing, Earob sees this gateway here, and it's rare to go offensive gateway when your opponent's right here. Maybe he's just trying to throw Earob off his game. Dragoon being built in the space of this. No Dragoon queued up as of yet from Worst. Is he just gonna go one? Okay, there's the Dragoon. I was about to say, is he just gonna queue up? He hasn't queued up range either. So Worst drop, okay, they're going for range. And he had the resources to do it. Was he just staring at this pylon in the space of this? Because it looks like, I think Earob gonna end up a little bit, well, that's 300 resources down the drain. First of all, he's gonna be up a Zealot. The Dragoon's out a lot more rapidly. And potentially faster tech for Earob all the way around. Worst is somehow up a probe though. In the space of all of this. Huh. I'm wondering if there was another plan that just didn't come to fruition, or if Worst is playing a little bit frustrated or something along those lines. Probe dies, but that cybernetic score has been spinning for quite some time. Looks like that probe did manage to sneak out and hide in that top corner. Earob is going to find it fairly rapidly. He isn't actually able to spot the cybernetic score, but I think Earob did go robotic. I think it spotted the robotics, going robotics before range. So wants to get Reavers or at least observers out fairly rapidly. This Dragoon making its way out. First shot on Earob's side though, so Worst's gonna have to retreat. This one's already smelled blood. He's a veteran. 2 Dragoons making their way forward. Earob does need to cycle its way back because otherwise, well timed. The Zealot going to. And I think Earob recognized that Zealot wasn't there too, so might even be able to. So Worst can't really hold this low ground. He shouldn't hold this low ground. He should retreat to the ramp side once this Zealot is amidst this, because that Zealot is enough to swing this tide. But once you're up the ramp, you have that misfire rate to work with. Also, you have that 3rd Dragoon. Still holding the low ground that he's got 3 Dragoons, but Earob gonna go ahead and cycle back in the space of this. Now, okay, are we going Reaver first? Observatory is being dropped. Are we going to get the support bay as a quick follow-up? I always wonder about this, honestly, to the rapid, maybe it's just to make sure that DTs aren't killing you, but the faster robotics where you're skipping range, you're delaying your range, but you still opt for observatory first, rather than going your robotics into, I guess you want your observatory first because you just need, ignore me actually, you just need that observer period so you don't die to DTs, that's the logic behind it. You still get it out fairly quickly though. Ignore everything I'm saying. Anyway. Worst up several workers. He's gone 2 gate robotics himself. The observer's going to come out much later. The Reaver should come out significantly later. 4 Dragoons versus 3 and a Zealot, by the way. But there is this Manor Pylon in between. But the focus fire perfectly there for Worst. And Worst actually finding a bit of a... Ooh, he's going to get a probe kill there as well. Has found no natural expansion. Earob shouldn't leave the high ground here. He's still... Well... Yeah, at a disadvantage. Not the fight he wants. The Zealot is going to get a little bit of damage here. Pylon's not worth it. Still moving with the 2 Dragoons to the low ground. Worst stutter stepping. 2 more Dragoons and an Observer making their way across. We do that Reaver being constructed. Earob still saving resources, actually, it looks like. Hasn't dropped a second gateway as of yet. Is now dropping that second gateway. The Reaver should be enough to turn the tide against these 5. Especially, but the observer is going to get picked off, so it's going to be a little bit harder to spot along that edge. I think Earob might have a bad rally with this Nexus with the 2 probes alongside. Dragoons on the low ground, the Reaver slowly making its way across. Reaver just needs to get some shit. Yeah, 1 shot, 2nd shot should end it. Worst is it? Ooh, well, okay. Is he just donating Dragoons? Almost donating Dragoons. In the space of this. Worst has opened up a supply lead. He's also getting that natural expansion done a little bit more rapidly. And I think Worst just wanting to stay in Earob's face as long as possible to try to delay that Nexus as long as possible on this turnaround. Shuttle speed started for both guys. Reaver's diving all the way across, or the Dragoons, I should say, diving all the way across. 3 Dragoons getting wiped out. And wow, catching a probe. The Observer looks like it's going to get picked off as well. 5 supply lead for Worst. And that should maintain with that Nexus up. So Worst negating that early Reaver lead. Does he have a Reaver of his own yet? Should shortly. He's got the shuttle being built. And we're going to have a full rebuild here from Earob. And he's down quite a lot of workers. In a rough situation here. Nice dive from Worst's part. And a really kind of a heads up play to recognize that Reaver was unprotected. Kind of a gutsy, maybe like just check, see what's in there. I think he recognized that it was still 1 gate and the second gate hadn't kicked in as of yet. Observer going and around. Worst doing a good job of anticipating his positioning. Might be an opportunity to pick off, but upon seeing that assimilator on that corner, Earob has to recognize that base is up. Probe also dropping a pylon to the north just in case. 4 gateways in play for Worst. Still sitting on 2 gateways here from Earob. And unfortunately, Worst is just, he's macroed, done a great job macroing. And Earob, I think maybe some nerves at this stage. I don't think he's stopping at 33 to go for, it would not make a lot of sense to stop at 33 right this second to go for a sort of power play. But right now he's missing some probes. Unless he just is dropping a bunch of gateways right this second. But even then, I think Worst is going to be able to ride that out with his own production. Shuttle all the way at the corner. Another shuttle. Did they see each other? Just outside of each other's view. Worst piling it on. He might just take this lower route all the way to the main. And with that, Earob will be out of position. There is a probe nearby. Ooh, never mind. Going to the natural. And still no defenses here. Earob very slow to respond. I think because he's got his own shuttle. Is lucky with a dud. The Dragoon also going to get stranded and not get a lot. This is still not a lot of defenses here on the front. And it looks like the Reaver drop in the main. Wow, got a lot of probes. Got some more probes and scooped up the Reaver. Whoa. And with that touch of micro, Earob actually even getting ahead in the worker count. Wow. This Reaver drawing back. Okay, now Worst needs to recalculate. I don't think either player knows exactly what their position's at. We do have the 2 Gateway versus 3, which does, excuse me, cough all of a sudden in the midst of this. Earob pinning a few Dragoons back just in case. Worst. Oh, this is going to be disaster town for Earob. So diving once again. Got, wow, a lot of additional kills, but Worst could end the game with this amount of Dragoons here. These Dragoons are not in position, and that Reaver is exposed. It is 2 Reavers in the space of this. And Worst pulled the workers off in a decent spot of time. That Reaver's gone. Natural expansion. The worker's actually not getting hit, but I think this is still enough Dragoons. Okay, there they got a hit. And killing additional Dragoons. This is going to be a dead natural expansion. Yeah, Earob just overextending a bit. And that should be GG. It looks like Worst is going to take it. Yeah, they can just focus fire this down. And Earob just doesn't have enough. He would have needed 2 Reavers, honestly, to walk down. He's going to lose that. Yeah, GG, well played. Solid play from both players. Earob just ending up a little bit out of position here and there. Worst takes it, he will advance in the 1-0. Earob will be 0-1 moving forward. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.